Hello everyone and welcome back to our Moneyball series. Right, so since last night I've had a bit of a think about things in depth, and I think that at the very least for this first season I should stick to the 3-5-2 to the end of the season, because we've not really had a chance to recruit into the tactic with the Moneyball strategy, right? So I think as a bare minimum we'll stick to 3-5-2. In reality, I'd like to probably stick to it the whole time. I'd like to have stuck to the one tactic all the way through. I just wish I'd have gone with the back four in some ways, because I just know that even with not even the proper team, it could still work. Whereas with this, even with the most amount of money available, you still have to buy the really, really good players for it to work, like to a standard where it overachieves massively. So yeah, anyway, what you're looking at here, so I've identified the big issue. The big issue is the wing backs. Now, when I've looked at wing backs to buy, what I've noticed is when I look in the search bar, other wingers and wing backs across the league don't have any better stats than our current ones that we've got. What I've come to realise is that doesn't mean that they are better wing backs than our players. Our tactic is extremely reliant on getting the ball to a wing back and then being 1v1. So their stats are going to be massively inflated. So we don't need to find somebody who's got better dribbling per match and better chances created per match. We actually can have somebody who's slightly less than them, because then when they come into our tactic and our team, they'll actually have far better stats than even our current players. Do you see what I mean? So that's what I sort of come to realise. I was looking, I kept thinking, how can James Bury and Callum Britton be the best players in the league for that? It's just because the tactic is so extreme. Nobody else plays the same way that we do, right? So what we're looking at here is the wing back overview that we have for the scouting area of the game, but for the homepage here, for the overview of the squad. So I'm going to do these for each position. They take a long time to redo, so I've just done one for now, because this is one we're going to look at least at first. So if the right wing back is an issue, we need to look at how bad is it off. So if Robbie Vita's our left wing back and he's doing probably okay, not great, but okay, he's got 4.51 dribbles per match. Now, whoever we have on the right needs to have that as a minimum. So that, when you put that into perspective, that shows how far off these two are. It's actually quite far. Cross completion is down, chances created, like they've actually got better than Remy Vita, but I think that's just the way that the ball goes right to left more, because most of our players are right-footed. Assists per minutes is down, so you can see here that when you actually look at the stats in that perspective, you can see they actually are quite far off. Remy Vita's more of a wing-back than he is a full-back. So yeah, I like to have two types of wing-backs in the squad for this sort of system. Just pure wingers, so pace, acceleration, dribbling, everything you're looking at is in possession and defending is secondary. Then on the other side, I like to have a prototype wing-back who is good going forwards as well, but can defend a little bit at the same time. But what I don't want is like an orthodox or like full-back at wing-back, which is I think what we've got here with these two, which when we see at the end of the season, I'm pretty sure that's what we're going to find. So that's the first thing to notice. We have to, for this to work, we have to get a right wing-back that can do more than what we've currently got. Like right now, I'd rather play him as a wing-back because he's, according to our coaches, he's quick. He can dribble at players. He hasn't got very good dribbling per match because he's played as a striker and he's not been getting the ball that much. And he seems to be okay in the air. So if he can survive in the air, just survive, I'm happy to give him a chance. So I'd rather play Nishan Burkhardt as wing back. That's the sort of stage I've got to. But before we do that, going into who we're going to sign. So looking at this here, I was having a quick look through. I would change it a little bit so we've got more stats for the wing back here. So I've done it in all of this. So dribbling per 90, then cross completion, and then chances created per 90 minutes, assists per 90 minutes, then it's the appearances. So whenever you see appearances, that's sort of like, these are the first things we're looking at, then these are the secondary things we look at, and then it just gets further away. So it's all in possession for the wing back, appearances, all out of possession. So it's in possession, appearances, how good are they in the air? Because if you're going to be a 5'7" winger playing wing back, can you survive in the air for the long diagonals that come across the pitch? If you can just about survive, can you tackle? If you can do that, how successful are you at tackling? And that is pretty much all I'm looking at. The only thing I might look at after that really is fouls. So if they can't tackle that well, if their tackle percentage is low and they give away a lot of fouls, that equals penalties. You're going to concede in the box, right? So yeah, I feel a bit more buzzed about buying players back into this tactic, but I got so deflated with, we aren't doing very well, and it's the tactic that's holding us back, I think, a little bit, and now a bit of full morale. But anyway, I looked at Tom Barkus in here. Now, the reason him is, first of all, the top two players are both left-footed, so that counts them out. Callum Britton is our player, so he's the very next best player in all the levels of football that we can sign in England, and is right-footed and plays on the right-hand side, so he's the best player. Tom Barkusin is a natural winger or a striker, so he fits, in theory, what we'd want, right? And he's got this amount of dribbles per game in a tactic where he might be playing on the right wing for a team that defends a lot, and he's not really getting the chance to get the ball too much. So he already is quite close to Callum Britton without playing in our system, where he's going to get the ball a lot in a 1v1 situation. So if you were to plug him into our system and our tactic, already you'd expect that he'd probably go up to a way above Callum Britton, right? That's what you'd expect. So that's what we've got to look at. Not that he's worse than Callum Britton. He actually probably would be quite significantly better if he was in our tactic. That's how I'm looking at this here. So he's played enough games for it to be a good sample size. He's very good in the air, so that's a good thing. He wins a fair amount of his tackles that he makes. Doesn't foul too much. Like, I don't care about this. That's subjective to your team, right? So he looks like prototype wing back, absolutely prototype wing back for us that we can afford apparently. So they don't want too much from him apparently. I don't know. Can we get him for like that? No, okay. How about something like that? I don't want to bank. If we get stuck in the championship next year, I can't keep doing it monthly installments for players. So let's go like 75 grand. 125 grand, there you go, right. So 125 grand for somebody who's better than our current wing backs that we think. We don't know, but we think. That's excellent. You can already see James Breeze in there in the bloody top 10. Like, absolutely no chance. He's one of the best dribblers in the championship, not having it. And the other player I think is Jed Wallace. So Jed Wallace stands out because, one, I know he's good in real life, but even if you look here, chances created per 90 minutes, 0.55 for a team that's not that high. That's actually pretty good in the championship. And I know he's pretty decent across here. He commits a lot of fouls, which is a potential problem, but he wins a lot of tackles. So he's probably playing central midfield is what I'd take from that. So I'd look at him as well as somebody to potentially scout. So we're going to stick a scout on Tom Barkus and we'll also then stick a scout on Jed Wallace. But I'm going to try and buy them both now because by the time they accept, and we can still delay it for 2 weeks, we should know enough about them. The second thing I wanted to look at was a centre-back. We need a centre-back that can actually move. So centre-back right now hasn't got as many things on it, hasn't got as many columns because I haven't really gone through since the start and updated it. So we've still got the basics here for a centre-back. So what I wanted to look at for a centre-back, I thought, how can I find somebody who's like a orthodox fullback that can play centre-back? So you probably want somebody that can play centre-back at least a little bit to begin with. We can just search orthodox fullbacks. But you probably want somebody who's made a lot of tackles first and foremost, because it probably means they're able to go into wider areas and get tackles in. So if you think about Foot Manager, think about the match engine. How often do you see your centre-back go into your own box and make a tackle? Not very often, right? Normally it's either a shot that's missed, a shot that's saved, or a shot that's blocked. So if a centre-back is tackling, it's probably going to be outside the area, which means they're probably having to manoeuvre themselves left and right to make the tackle. So I thought that's probably a good indicator of a mobile centre-back, right? So I looked at tackling, and tackles per game this is. So all of these are straight away out because none of them have played. And then the first sort of few are this sort of bracket here. And what stood out to me was Mark Bowler, because he's got 2.96 tackles tackles per game. He plays in the championship already, so he plays at a decent level. Tackle ratio isn't great. He's probably playing fullback, I would expect. He's pretty good in the air, and he makes a lot of interceptions as well. So based on that, like the only other player that looks as good probably is Thomas, but he's on loan. So I thought, okay, let's go for Mark Bowler. I've already done this one, already put the offer in. We're going to get him for like 50 grand. Like it's unbelievable. And I know in real life I know from playing Foot Manager before, he's not a bad, I think he's a good attacking fullback. So I think left side of a back three though for us is the kind of player that we need. It's more like, I think his tackling's like, I don't know, it's not very good, but we need like orthodox fullbacks to play left and right side centre back if this tactic's going to work. But that's the prototype. The only position where we need like a proper orthodox centre back is in the middle of the back three. That's where we play our middle main centre back, right? So that helps a little bit. We could do with one more, to be honest. I mean, Ryan Leonard looks quite good. I don't know whether I'm not so sure about him, actually. He might be okay. He's got a lot of fouls. That's my only concern about him. Let's get the scouts out anyway on these. Tommy Smith seems to be pretty good. He commits a lot of fouls for a defender, and he actually is a defender. 100 clearances as well. That's quite high. Okay, I don't see anybody else standing out there. So what I'm going to do now is search actual fullbacks. And this is, again, remember to play centre-back, the side of the back three. So we go through here. So Tommy Smith sort of comes out quite high up in the fullbacks here, in the tackles and stuff. So that's quite interesting. Get like some interceptions. Anybody good at intercepting as well as everything else? Yeah, so this is interesting. What we might do is I might sell one of my two centre-backs that we have that start often, because we only really need one of them. And we definitely need more mobile centre-backs. Okay, another player that stood out to me here. How long is he out for? Oh, okay, don't worry. Don't worry, 3 to 6 months is too long. Brandon Fleming looks alright. He's only 5'9", but his stats are really good. If we're going to have to pay that much for like our next level of player, I'm just going to shortlist him and scout him here anyway. Let's get the scout out on him. Let's see how much we're going to get for if we sold somebody. Well, I can't sell James Briggs. I signed him, right? So he's off the table. Callum Britton I could just sell. He's a good player, but I mean, he doesn't really fit into anything for me. I'm happy to sell him. Let's try and sell Callum Britton. He wants a new contract, and he's moaned the entire time since I've been here, so I'm fed up with him anyway. Get out. And let's sell. I mean, Kitching is worth a lot of money. I'm going to go with Kitchen because Helic is unbelievable in the air. Look at headers 1 per 90 minutes. Helic's on 17. You can see here Helic is just way above and beyond everybody else on 17.82 for headers 1 per 90 minutes and 88% head win ratio. So, like, he's a dominant centre-back. If he's not going to be like a mobile centre-back, at least he's good in the middle. Liam Kitching's a left-footed player. He looks like he's a little bit agile, but he's quite heavy. He seems like he's in between. Like he's built technically, he's built on his attributes, from what I'm seeing, like he's a old school big dominant centre back, but then he's not quick enough to but then he's only 6'1", he's not amazing in the air, and then he's not really quick enough and mobile enough to be good on the side. Now, when it turns out at the end of the season, we look at him, I could be totally wrong, but I have a feeling that's what the case is. So I'm going to sell him, and hopefully we'll see what offers we get here for these players. The Nottingham Forest have bid 1.6 million for Callum Britton. I'm going to accept that. Liam Kitchen got no offers. Few clubs do want him. He's not on much wages, so they can't surely be moaning about the wages. But Bowler's offers were accepted for 75 grand. That is unreal. This is Moneyball right here. This is pure Moneyball. Right, let's get one to like 7 grand a week. That'll do. I don't really, you can have that. Relegation release clause of 0. Takes it. Good. Barkhusen, he might want a bit more wages. He does. 11.5. You can have that. You can have that. Relegation release clause of 0. Yep, took that as well. Sweet. They just cut our transfer revenue percentage to 60% from 100. Bollocks. It is saying the wages. That's hilarious. It's saying that the wages is the reason why I don't want to buy him. 2.5 grand a week. Piss off, man. This is my last offer, $1 million. Any lower than that is pointless. Can't even do it. Right, okay. Well, that's that done then. I'm just going to transfer list Helic and see what we would get for him. Because there was one game where we didn't play him for a couple of games we didn't play him, and we did all right. So there we go. Like, what he offers us is not worth keeping if we can get that for him. Midtjylland and Rosenborg, 1.9 million. This is Moneyball as well. That amount of money outweighs the productivity he gives us by a mile. So I'm going to take that for him instead. And Barkhusen's just agreed, which is great for us. So let's do that. Helic's then going to leave. That's useful money for us to spend on somebody else. Kitching will then be our sole middle centre-back. He's not going to be on the side anymore. Yeah, okay. Right. I'm glad these sort of go through. I'll see you in a second for the Stoke game. We'll play that game next, and we'll conclude all the transfers, hopefully by that point. Okay, welcome back. Yeah, so the 2 players that we tried to sign, Barkhusen and Bowler, are in. Britain agreed to join Nottingham Forest, which is good for us. And, well, we've got some players out for this game, to be honest, which is not good. But we're going to start playing a different team here. I'm going to start playing... Oh, I was going to put Burkott wing back. I want some actual proper wing backs in there, or wingers in there. Alan Britton's even out. Jesus Christ. Well, Kitching, I suppose, has to play on the side for one last game. We'll go with that as a team. Yeah, it looks a bit of a mess, to be honest. But we've got a lot of players leaving that are involved. But there we are. The team today is going to be Wharton in goal, Bree, Helic, Kitching at the back, Cornick and Remy Vita as the wing back, Styles, Palmer, Keane in the middle, Morris and Devante Cole up front. Tactic has been tweaked. Remy playmakers, what I had before. The reason I didn't like to use it previously was it was the role that I used in my original tactic, but it would always get bad match ratings. But it just seems to make the tactic work, or it did. So I'm going to go back to that. Everything else is pretty much staying the same, but that's the major change. And defensively, we've gone with this currently. The higher line, not much higher, but much higher engagement, loads of pressing, all the other fun stuff. So let's see how this goes. The manager says, go and put that on a show. Even the players look different, like the resolution's so different. I don't know what's happening. Akina's in anyway. It should be 1-0. Boys, come on. Corner for Barnes, it's whipped in, and it's brilliant. And it's going to be a goal. Liam Kitchen, we score from a corner. 1-0 to Barnsley. I'm not getting excited at all. They'll put Odor at left wing back for Vita after this highlight finishes. Vita has it, he's sort of actually giving it away. That's why he's coming off. And yeah, they're going to play through. We should be getting to this Bree. That's why you want slightly quicker centre backs. There we go. It's all about player recruitment. Moneyball, here we go. No, I'm not. I was honestly so deflated last night. As a red card referee. We got a match away from him in a few days as well. Starswip's in the corner, headed in. That's going to be 2 from a corner. We'll take that. That's what should be happening slightly more if we're going to be a team with 3 big centre-backs at the back. You know what I mean? Nice work, everybody. That was good. What I think we'll do is we'll end the episode here, and we'll have this like as a combined, player recruitment and 1 match sort of episode. So yeah, that's sort of how I think we're looking at it anyway. So hopefully that's all right. I'm going to end the episode here. But thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.